The regular council meeting for Tuesday, October 25th, 2022 is called to order at 7:02 p.m. We've already had silent meditation and pledge of allegiance. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call, please?
Roll call, Mayor Nickerson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Erbaum.
Present.
Councilperson Perella.
Here.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Councilperson Martin.
Present.
Also present for the record, Janice Jacoby, Village Clerk, Christy Alou, Village Manager, and Joseph Geller, Village Attorney. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. I appreciate it. Next is approval of the agenda. I do have a couple of items that I want to alter. G3, I want to remove G3. I'm going to put that, I already have that as part of my State of the Village address on Saturday, so I'm going to remove G3, and we'll talk about that on Saturday during my address here at the Village Hall, 2 o'clock p.m. Little plug. I also want to move H1. I want to move H1 to right before our agenda items. The only reason why that is because the individual for H1, he is on a break, and he has to get back to work immediately. So H1 will go right above G, and then we'll do the agenda items, then we'll go back to H2 after the agenda items, and I'm removing G3 altogether. That's going to be on the State of the Village address. Do I have any more alterations, or do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Mayor?
Yes.
Before approving the agenda, can I have two items that I want to actually have a little discussion from the consent agenda. That'll be F3 and F4.
F3 and F4, you want them in regular, okay, these are resolutions, so we're going to put them in resolutions, F3 and F4. Those will become now H6 and H7.
You don't have to renumber them, you can just take them up if you want to, at the end of the consent.
No, I'm gonna remove them. So F3, you say F3 and F4, Councilperson Perella?
Yes.
So F3 will make H6 and F4 is a resolution, so we'll make it H7.
Perfect.
Sound good, Councilperson Perella?
Perfect. Yeah,
All
sounds
right.
good. Thanks.
Do I have any more alterations? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda, the changes? Moved by Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Hearing none, moving right along. Good and welfare. Okay, usually I do good and welfare to where you come up and talk 3 minutes about any item that is on the agenda, and then we have a second good and welfare at the end that concerns any item altogether. But I know that we have a packed house, and I think I got an email that there's a couple of people that wanted to talk about a couple of things really quickly. I don't want to keep you here because we do have what could be an exhaustive meeting. We're good? Agenda. So for the first good and welfare, those who want to talk about anything at all, you have 3 minutes. And you can come and talk about anything at all. You just have to say your name and address for the record. We're doing this tonight because of the length of the agenda. We usually only keep the good and welfare for what is on the agenda itself. Do I have any type of problems or situations from the council to where that they don't want to grant that? Those being able to come and talk about anything at all during this first good and welfare for today. Everybody good? No objections?
Nope.
All right, here we go. So the first good and welfare, if you want to come and talk about anything at all, come up, say your name and address for the record, and the floor is yours, 3 minutes. Anybody at all?
Good evening, my name is Thomas Pulliam. I'm at 205 Northeast 86th Street. Last time I was here was 2 months ago. I wasn't present at the last meeting, which was canceled. However, I did intend to be at that budget hearing, which was just 15 minutes prior. Long story short, I did a public records request. I've also emailed all the members on the council about this. Just wanting to see what the contracts were with the staff and how that correlates with the budget and spend. What I found out was that the manager's contract is allowed a 3% increase yearly. However, what's been approved is an 8%. So there's a discrepancy there that I want to bring to the village's attention. In addition, I asked for the employment contract for the village attorney, which we did not have one executed as of the year 2020 when I received those documents on September 29th. So just want to bring all that to the council person's attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pulliam. Attorney Geller was interim attorney for a while, and he became our permanent attorney. And he had a contract during his interim attorney phase, and since he's become his a permanent attorney, we still have to have an administration and finance meeting and secure his contract for his permanent attorney status. Do I have anybody else for the for good and welfare? You can talk about anything at all. Name and address. 3 minutes.
I have a brief comment, if I could.
Yes.
Anders Urban, 460 Northeast 89th Street. Just a reminder, while we have a full house, that hurricane season is not over. And yes, we'll talk about it in the State of the Village, but while I have the opportunity, just a reminder, I'm on a Facebook group that a bunch of weather nerds. And just a reminder, Hurricane Cat, 1985, Category 2, 2 days before Thanksgiving. So everything's quiet right now in the Atlantic Basin, but that can change at any time. Luckily, from 1985 to now, we have much better advanced forecasting and things like this. But just a reminder to everybody that we should remain diligent genuinely all the way through to December 1st at least. So.
Well said, Vice Mayor. I would have kept that on there for you. All you had to do was say something when we were in the agenda.
No, because it just needed 30 seconds. We didn't need the whole agenda.
It's
item,
all
so.
good. I appreciate you. Anybody else? Anybody else good and welfare? 3 minutes. You can talk about anything at all before I move on. Okay. Seeing, hearing none. Moving down to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Moved by Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Urban. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilperson Martin.
Yes.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Councilperson Perella.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Urban.
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. I appreciate that. Moving down to agenda items. We're on the first agenda item, G1, potholes, street repair, phase 2. There are a couple of potholes that definitely have to get done with this phase 2. Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, Councilperson Martin, you guys might be able to talk just more about these because I see them as I'm passing out flyers on next to in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
There's one that Councilperson Martin, it might be 89th or 88th, 89th, that has a cone.
And a cone in it, yes. And it's right at the base of a driveway.
It's one of those giant cones, you guys, and the cone is like halfway deep.
Yeah.
Like that's how deep this pothole is, and it's getting wider and wider and wider. And so that one definitely has to get done. Like it's when I'm passing out my flyers, I'm like, oh my Lord, I'm embarrassed that I'm the mayor and I'm walking past this pothole, and this pothole looks that way, where this giant cone is halfway gone because it's in that pothole. It's absolutely terrible, and it's right there going into somebody's driveway. That's one, and there's another one that's on that back alley. But you guys know we have the houses on 91st that have the 2 stories. If you go down that back alley, there is one there that is humongous and so dangerous and right there in the middle of the road. And so those, I'm adamant, those 2 definitely have to get done in this phase 2. But I'm going to open up to the council. Anybody have any comments about anything? Yes, Councilperson Lightfoot.
Thank you. I appreciate that. This pothole that you spoke of that is getting wider and wider with the big cone in it, That was a resolution, item number F6 from the consent agenda. So that's a sinkhole that we have been reporting on for the past couple of months. And with the passage of that resolution, we are now able to have that repaired. F5. Oh, what did I say? Oh, sorry. Okay. Sometimes I don't. Okay, but yeah, F5 will take care of that particular pothole. Also, on the list of repairs is the, let's see here. I mean, I do have our Public Works Director as well as our Public Works Coordinator here, but the sinkhole does have the 3 quotes that we've provided to, for Village Council's consideration. And again, that will be covered in that. In terms of what remains with potholes, we do have one at, I believe it's 550 Northwest 87th Street, right in front of the home, that is huge. That is actually on the swell, but it is such a bad pothole that's deteriorating, as well as the one that Mayor Nickerson spoke about that is in the alleyway between Northwest 90th and Northwest 98th and 5th Avenue. So those are 2 that we want to also take care of. And if anyone else can identify some, we would definitely consider that. But we also have on our list to take care of the paving that is at the Sherwood Forest Park. That will not be considered a pothole. It's not a pothole. It's more of a road issue that will be addressed when we do our parks renovation.
Yes, I do have another, I identified another one that issue, it needs to be added to the list, which is the one by Sherwood Forest. It's in front of the house, 385 Northeast 85th Street. It's very close to be a sinkhole. I mean, it's huge. Yeah. Just passed by 2 days ago, and I yeah. It needs to be addressed, like, quick.
Thank you, Councilperson.
And any more that anyone can identify, please let us know.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward?
My concern is there something about, since most of it seems to be on the northwest area, is there something about, we may be doing patches or temporary work, but is there something about the ground that we're missing? Because this one on 86th is always popping up. I'm wondering if we're just doing bandage as opposed to doing the work necessary. Are we sinking? Are we on a land, a waterlogged area and we don't know it? Has any systemic kind of work been done that says why we have these potholes? Not only do they start out small, but they end up large before we're able to give attention to it. So my concern is, can you imagine a house going under because we didn't take time to think about that a little bit deeper? I can imagine that, and I don't like horror stories. But is it something that we're not doing? Because it's always in that part. Most of the potholes are always in my side of the Marvin and I area. And they're much traveled because that's that 3rd Avenue. That's that 3rd Avenue. It's always there. That's that 5th Avenue. Aren't you right next to 5th Avenue? Mm-hmm. Is there something that we're missing? Because I've been on the council long enough, I've been in the village 30 years, to know that these same areas are the same areas where most of the potholes are. Are we missing something systemically here? That's just a question. Just fix the pothole doesn't mean that we solve the problem. We just fix the problem. We just covered it. And that's why I'm asking these questions. Why did it go up? I didn't turn it up. I don't know. So I think we need to look at it a little bit differently. Whoever's doing it, I'd be happy to have the report on what they saw. What did they have to do? What did they, because if we don't ask for it, the company's not gonna tell us. They say, listen, your grounded area is on on a flat that has A, B, C, D on it. And since we've never gotten that back, we just got, we paved it. Maybe we're not looking at this like it should be. And I don't doubt the person that's doing it is doing a good job. I just very concerned that they're always in the Northwest, the majority, big, going out of control, on basically the same streets in my area. Just a thought. I'm not blaming nothing. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying, do we need to look at it differently?
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
just a question based on what Councilman Life Award is saying, which I completely agree with. Is the idea of what we're doing patching these or repairing? Like, what have we been doing? Have we just been patching the same potholes or repairing them?
No, they are not the same potholes. These are different ones. And we've had a phase one that was mostly on the northeast side. Those, we did a little bit of road resurfacing as well in phase one. But that was northeast, the majority of those potholes. So we wanted to address what remains. And as you see, phase two is a smaller or shorter list than the phase one that we conducted in 2021. And that's where we're now addressing whatever's left on the northwest side. To your point about the road, why is it, why the pothole? We haven't had our roads resurfaced or reconstructed in a number of years. And from what I understand from the traffic study that was done a few years ago, roads have to be repaved after 15 to 20 years. We're long past due for anything like that, but we just don't have those finances to repave our roads. So what we can do is patch and repair potholes where possible, and when we're able to, we can resurface, as we did a little bit of a resurface in phase one here on the northeast side. Also, what contributes to the pothole issue is erosion and the flooding. That weakens the base, and it causes those sinkholes and these problems. So we have a lot of flooding throughout the village, as you notice, on northeast 2nd and 89th. And 90th as well. There's a lot of erosion and worn out roads, but we aren't in a position right now to repave them because we cannot afford the permeable pavers. Instead of just putting asphalt on that's just something that will wear away in another 2 years. So we are trying to address these with our mobility study, which you all passed about 2 months ago. That will, in our traffic study, I hope to at least kind of address those matters as well. So I will keep you posted. And thank you for those comments.
Okay, I do have a follow-up. So what we're doing is patching. And how long should the patch hold up? Do we know?
No, we don't know.
Okay.
Because we patched and haven't had any other issues with patches.
Thus far.
Thus far.
And we patched like maybe a couple years ago. So I think a really sound question that comes from what Dr. Lightfoot Ward is saying, what are the plans to repave? Like, are there any plans to acquire these funds or to quantify how much it would be for a more permanent solution for villagers on the northwest and honestly on the northeast side as well? Are we looking at that?
We are. As part of the whole septic to sewer conversion, there would have to be a repaving of the roads as well. So that is one portion. Those are only 99 homes that would be in that phase one of the septic to sewer conversion. Mm-hmm. But we would address the roads in that project.
So that would provide relief to those 99.
For that area.
And then are we looking at the other villagers and maybe, so this obviously is not going to happen in the short term.
Right.
But in addition to us patching, I think we should be functioning on both tracks and looking at a more robust solution to the problem and how we can execute on this repaving. Maybe for the 99 first, but also contemplate the villagers that come behind that are not part of the 99. Because from what the mayor was saying and everyone up here, some of these potholes are gigantic, and patching it is good, but figuring out a more permanent solution would probably provide a lot more comfort to, at least I know my neighbor on 89th Street who currently has that gigantic pothole in the front. So maybe we could do both.
Well, the issue again is that is a fund that we do not have for repaving our roads. Again, we would then have to go to the state and other areas to look for funding for such.
For sure. I
We'll
know that
keep
we
doing
can't
that.
do it right now, but
Right.
planning is
Yes.
always a good option to
We-
just keep our eyes on how we might do it in the future.
Well, we actually have a road plan, or what's it called, a master plan for road revitalization. That's been issued by our Craig A. Smith and Associates, and it's being updated right now by Craig A. Smith and Associates. It's from I think it was 2019, Mr. Thumbie? Yeah, so we have a study that breaks it out in phases, so as we get funding, we're able to do this, this, and this, but we just don't have the funds right now.
Perfect.
we will
Well,
continue to address
It's good
it.
to know that we're at least thinking about that and the different phases that might encompass.
But again, if you look at, I'm sorry, if you look at the repairs, the scoop of work, it's like actually compressing the soil and I mean the soil and using rocks and then paving on top of it. It's not like it's just patching it. They're doing what is supposed to be, you know, it's what is supposed to be done to take care of that. Now, if it happens again in the same place, then there'll have to be some engineer and, study be done to see whether it's,
No, I say all of this just because I have multiple neighbors
Right.
who have lived in the village far longer than I have, who have complained about reoccurring potholes. So I have no doubt that they're competent in what they're doing. My question is the longevity of it. If we can fix it for 5 years, or we can do it for 15, 20 years, can we look at, is there a way to phase that longer, more robust solution? Maybe the answer is no, but I think we need to be looking on both tracks to find just the best solution possible. So I think all things can be true.
Yeah, and if I could remind the council that Pluserbia has a brilliant, if I may say, resilient streets plan that if we are able to get organized enough as the need for redoing streets comes into play, they have a absolutely forward-looking plan, fully developed, ready for us to implement when it comes time to redo a street after septic to sewer. Additionally, I'll just say it again, resilient streets is the key here, that's the ticket. And then additionally, the stormwater project. That is going to go a long way also to mitigating how much groundwater is sitting after heavy rains or with elevated canal levels and things like this. So that stormwater project is critical to this discussion as well. So I'll just remind us, once again, resilient streets and the stormwater project both are great here.
Building on what Vice Mayor just said, let me just say, although I don't normally get involved in a discussion like this, but the manager is out, as the mayor is, and all of you, are out actively looking for unusual grant money. We have this infrastructure bill that finally actually passed the Congress, and there's money like there never was, precisely for these neglected infrastructure needs. And with a good plan like you just described that our planning consultants have come up with, you know, if everybody keeps looking, the money is out there. It never was for all these years. It's been, 50, 60 years since there's been this kind of investment. But now would be the time to try to find some of that infrastructure money. And if possible, with a good plan like that, it could make a long-term difference.
Okay. Anybody else from the council about the sinkholes? No? Anybody from the audience have any questions or comments about the pothole street repair? No. May I have a motion to approve the list from item G1?
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, second by Vice Mayor Erbaum. Madam Clerk, may I please have roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilperson Martin.
Yes.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Councilperson Perella. Vice Mayor Erbaum.
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right. All right, we're gonna jump to H1 right now, you guys. We went through this in the committee meeting, if you guys remember, with the CAT representative who came up to and spoke about the situation that happened with the roof. I don't know if you guys want to go back over it again or if it's necessary. There's really nothing that we can really say or do about it, so. Oh, yes, that's right, for all the items. Yeah, no problem.
For items H1 that we're going to take up next, as well as H2 and H3, if everyone who plans to offer any testimony on those items would please stand and raise your right hand. If you're going to talk about it, just stand for a second and raise your right hand. And just repeat after me. I, and state your name. Do hereby solemnly swear that the testimony I will give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and either so help me God, or you can take an affirmation. So help me God works, if you don't want to do it. Okay, thank you. Witnesses are sworn. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Attorney Geller. Appreciate that. That being said, do I have a motion to approve H1?
So moved.
We can do it, but we went through this in the committee meeting, and there was nothing that we could do about it. Moved by Councilperson, did you move it? Moved by Vice Mayor Erbaum, second by Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Madam Clerk, please have a roll.
Roll call. Councilperson Martin.
Yes.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Councilperson Perrella.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Erbaum.
Yeah, this is a true hardship, yes.
Yes. Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. Next, we're going to, let's go back, jump up at the G2, the Charter Revision Board. So we're due to start to look at our charter, you guys, and put together a Charter Revision Board. We have to start the process, Attorney Geller, we have to start the process in 2022. Our charter doesn't say anything about we have to finish the process in 2022. It says we have to start the process, begin the process in 2022. And so I want you guys to, before the new year, so next, we have the November meeting, we have the December meeting. We'll try to get it through for the November meeting. But if not, we still have the December meeting, which is the last chance that we have to do this. And what we have to do, you guys, we have to pick a charter review board, and it has to be residents. It has to be a board of residents. And I believe it's 6 residents, if I'm not mistaken. I think the charter says 6 residents. I believe I have that in my mind.
I don't think it was.
Or 7.
7.
It might have been 7.
It might have been 7.
7,
Yeah,
7. That's
an
what
odd
it was.
number.
It was 7. Because I remember thinking 2 of us, are probably going to have to pick 2, or we have to do something like that. So what I would suggest is, that we're 5, we have to pick 7. I would suggest that each council person, think of a resident that you want to have on the Charter Review Board. Go to the resident, ask them, if they want to be a part of the Charter Review Board, and 2 of us can pick 2 people. Doesn't have to be me. Whoever wants to pick 2 individuals can pick 2 individuals. It could be the mayor and vice mayor, but it doesn't have to be that way, you guys. Whoever wants to pick 2 people, just think about it. If you really feel adamant that you want to pick a second person, just call the manager or call the clerk and let them know, and we'll just go from there. If not, then we'll just keep it mayor and vice mayor could pick 2 people.
Mayor, let me just say, because I've done this twice for the village already. You can do it any way you want based on, what the charter says is minimal. But in the past, by my recollection, even though you can have individual council members nominate people, the requirement has been that to be on it, somebody has to get, that all the names have to be voted, and there has to be a majority of the council that votes to put somebody on. So, you can nominate 2, or somebody else can nominate 2, or whatever, but they still have to get a majority vote. The other just note to make, just as since it's been a while, and I know you were here, but the charter board makes recommendations, but they are not empowered to put things right on the ballot. The charter board makes recommendations, then the council reviews them, and the council decides whether it agrees or disagrees, and the council is who votes to put the recommendations on the council. It's not a new charter, it's just revisions to the charter, individual revisions, and I just, the idea of having the Citizens Committee is to get input from outside the council, but it's still, just to be clear, it's subject to a council vote to put it on the ballot, and then, of course, it's the citizens' choice whether they accept those individual recommendations or not. Everybody votes on it. So just to frame it up, if that's okay.
No, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, I also think there should be a mechanism by which the villagers can express interest in serving on the board as well. Just because I'm sure there are countless people who might be interested but might not be known to any of us, and I want them to have an opportunity as well to let us know what their thoughts are to improve our village. So maybe there could be a certain number of spots reserved just for people to reach out to the clerk and let her know that they're interested in serving.
If I might, Mayor, that's an excellent point, councilperson, and the way, what this should be viewed as, because it's not, anyone who wants to serve can put their name forward. This should be taken by the village at large as an opportunity for people who want to serve to put in their name or an application or a resume, whatever, to the clerk. The clerk can, and along with whatever names that you choose to nominate, and all the names, whether somebody is volunteering to do it or being urged by you, can be put forward in advance of the next meeting. And that way, if you're ready to act in November, you'll have the names of people who volunteered to serve, you'll have the names of people you've asked to consider serving, and if you're ready in November, you can vote on those names. I think the mayor's right, it's 7, and it's just a matter of getting enough people who have a majority vote of the council. If you're not prepared to do that final vote in November, as the mayor says, you could still do it in December. If you named 5 people that got a majority vote in November and you didn't get 7, you can come back and fill the other 2 vacancies that you didn't appoint in December if you get a majority vote. But, unless you decide otherwise, and it is your privilege to make this decision where the charter doesn't dictate it, but it's been that it does take a majority vote. So if you ended up with a charter commission that had 6 people instead of 7, because that's how many got a majority vote of the council, you can proceed that way. Because again, it's not, whatever their recommendation isn't binding. So if there's a tie vote on something, it still comes to you and you make the decision. But that's an excellent point, councilperson, and this should be looked at as notice, and the clerk can follow it up with, whatever public notice, that if people want to submit their names and application or resume, that the village is now open to accept those for this.
Thank you very much, Attorney Geller. Are we 100% certain that if we are less than 7, that fulfills that charter review board?
Well, yes, but if you want ultimately to have 7, you just need to find, if you end up with 6, you need to find someone that could be the 7th that will get a majority vote of the council. I'm sure there's someone in the village, even if you have to go out and recruit someone. But the idea is that you're not putting people on that don't have the support of the council, because the council has to come back and consider these recommendations anyway. So in the past, at least, it's been a requirement, as I recall, that you have a majority vote to put someone on. If you end up with 6 and you want 7, I don't think it disqualifies it, frankly. It's 6 citizens giving input. But if you want a 7th, you just come back and find somebody else that you can have consensus on that will get a majority vote of the council. It gets 3 votes.
Yeah, so that's the only reason why, and I think that Councilperson Martin made a great point, which, you know, I want everybody who wants to be a part of it to be able to, you know, fill out applications to be a part of it. This is my concern, though. And this is why I said that I think that we should all at least go out and find, you know, try to find like 5, you know, and somebody try to find 2 people, try to find 2, because I don't want to get to December. You guys, our next meeting is November 15th and then December 13th because of the holidays. If we get to December and we don't have those 7 people, then we're going to be out of compliance. Let me just read the charter for a second, you guys, what it says. The council shall appoint a charter revision commission consisting of not less than 7 village residents. If we don't have 7 by December 13th, we're out of charter compliance. So that's the reason why I said, you know, because, you know, and I think we should do both, because but I don't just want to put it out there and then we only get 3 people to come in. So at least, I want to at least be safe and say, okay, we have 7 interested people. And then, you know, if we get 20 or 30, even better. But at least we have that 7. So if nothing else, at least we won't fall out of compliance. So let's at least, I think, try to get that 7, at least people who are interested in being on that charter review board.
If I may.
Yes.
No, completely. My line of the night is all things can be true. I think we should recruit. I think I could find 7 people by myself who might be interested in doing it. But I also think that we need to make it as open as possible. So I do think we should definitely recruit, but open it up for additional villagers who might want to have their name considered as well. And I love the addition of the resume so that we can have a varied amount of skill sets on that board so that we make sure we are looking at things from all angles.
Sounds good. Yes, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, so I wholeheartedly agree with Councilperson Martin that, you know, in my opinion, this whole process, once we get the board, the whole process should be, if it's done properly, it should be loud, it should be chaotic, it should be messy. If it's not loud, chaotic, and messy, then we are missing a lot of things. So in addition to that, I think that the invite, at least from my end, is going to be very open in terms of don't worry about what's on your resume. Just tell us who you are and why you're interested, kind of a thing, because, you know, everyone who lives in this village lives out of this village. And so the powers of observation are incredibly powerful powers, right? And so almost anybody with almost any skill set, I do believe, would have something to add in terms of, this has been my experience, this is what I would like to see improved, this is what is working well, I don't want to see it change, that kind of thing. So, you know, I think if we could aim for 25 people and land somewhere above 10, that would be ideal. I think that, you know, I think the 7 would be considered a bare minimum of enough brains in it to really get some solid ideas out of it. So just as it's wonderful to see a full house tonight, I mean, the council cannot do this job without input, and this board is not going to be able to function without a considerable, this is the most significant thing that we'll be dealing with until it's done. There won't be anything more significant than this, and so I don't think that could be understated enough. Or
Vice Mayor, let me just say, though, just keep in mind, the more members, the longer it takes to get to a final product. So there's a balance there. There's, I mean, if you really, I mean, I hope you're not thinking of appointing 20, 30 people to that, because that would make every meeting very difficult to, you know, bring each meeting to a conclusion, to make sure everybody who wanted to be heard at each meeting on each topic got heard. You'd have to have more meetings. The other thing is that sometimes you find, if with a process that stretches literally for months, that there's a lot of enthusiasm at the beginning, and then you find yourself with difficulty getting a quorum as you move forward, because it takes a majority of the committee. So just, your point is certainly well taken, but
Yeah.
there's a balance, is all I'm saying.
And I am discovering balance in my life at this point. But you know, I come from hospitality. Someone orders something, they want it now, right? But when it comes to government, I am a believer that government should move slowly, because it is a very large vessel that carries a ton of mass with it, and you're not going to turn on a dime, and if you do, you're going to capsize. So so I take your point. I still think we should aim for more than 20 applicants and be satisfied to land somewhere around 10, 11, even as high as 13 actual members. So, I mean, for me personally, I just think it needs to be as loud as possible to get the best product out of it at the end. That's all. So,
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor Erbaum. Anybody else from the council? Hearing none. Anybody from the audience have anything they want to say? Seeing none. There's nothing to vote on here, you guys. Let's just find, try to find a minimum of at least 7 and come back, and then we'll work with the manager and the front desk. We'll try to see if we can figure out some type of form that we can have. We'll all get together and try to figure out a form we can have for the application. All right. We're moving on to H2. We're on H2, you guys. That's the resolution H2. I don't know, Attorney Geller, if you want to read that into the record for us.
H2, a resolution of the Village Council of El Portal, Florida, granting site plan approval for new construction of a one-story addition at 8545 Northeast 4th Avenue Road in Zone 3, suburban residence in the Village of El Portal, an application by Gregory I don't know if it's Borja or Borja, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. Is the applicant here? Sir, I apologize. How is your last name pronounced properly? What do you say?
how do you say it?
Borja. Nothing is more irritating to people than not having their own name pronounced correctly. I try to be a stickler for that. Thank you, Mr. Borja, for enlightening us. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. We have Mr. Borja come up, please, and we have village staff, either Camilla or Juan, come up.
Hello. My name is Gregory Borja. I live in 8545 Northeast 4th Avenue Road. I'm here because I'm looking for the approval of a new construction, a 2-story addition to my house, and also a addition to the existing structure of a master bedroom and a car garage.
Thank you very much, Mr. Borja.
Thank you.
Thank you. Camilla, if you want to give us your view on it, the staff view, and the staff recommendation. Let's just start there.
Yes, Mayor Dickerson, thank you. The site
Mr.
plan
Borja, you can stay up there. Yeah, you're good.
The additions, as Mr. Borja stated, comply with the zoning requirements and the site development standards for Zone 3. The proposed plan is consistent with the comprehensive plan and intent of the use in the district in which it is located. And the approval of this site plan will not have any adverse impact in the village. While the design of the addition is of a different architectural style, it is still consistent in scale and composition and materials of the existing house on the property. The applicant shows good cause with the proposal of the new construction of the residence, and therefore staff recommends approval of the site plan application.
And Mayor, without objection, you should accept the staff report. I'm sorry. And Mayor, without objection, you should accept the staff report into evidence, because it is evidence for the quasi-judicial determination.
Staff recommends approval. Do I have any objection to the staff recommendation?
Well, if I may, I do have a question for the applicants, because I noticed that you have a lot of mature oak trees in your property, on your backyard.
Yes.
Are any of those plants trees being removed?
No, at all.
Not,
Yeah.
nothing's gonna, so the new construction is not gonna
It's
interrupt
gonna
any
be,
of the,
it's gonna be
around the trees?
around the trees.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good, thanks.
Yeah,
I
but-
believe that the trees are one of the most beautiful
Part of your,
part of the house, you know. That was one of the reasons why I bought the house.
perfect, thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you. Well, prior to, you guys, before we get to the details of what's going on, because that's gonna lend into the vote itself, right? So we're gonna ask the details to see if we agree or don't agree with the, with putting this through. But our staff recommends approval. Do we have an objection with the staff at least recommending approval? Whether we approve it, we're gonna discuss that in a second. But staff approval, do I have any
Just accept the
objection?
report
Yeah,
and
yes,
have
it's
it.
just accepting the report. Do I have any objection about the staff approving? All right, thank you very much. Okay, now let's open it up to the council. Do you have any questions for either the applicant or the staff regarding this particular property?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward.
if I'm not mistaken, it took 2 meetings. Was it 2, right?
Yes, this is the
It
second
took
one.
2 meetings for us to get to this place. Seems like there's redundancy on this 3rd time.
No, this
They
is,
got here, they got this, all these resolutions got here because we already went through tooth and nail. Everything, and when we come to this 3rd one, that's always problematic for me. The person already convinced us, told us, talked about this 2-3 hours sometime about what they want to do, and it doesn't seem fair to me as an applicant. They should just simply be able to come over here and say, hey, we had it, we did what we did, we aren't changing it, we're not trying to change it, you've already accepted it, and let's vote. But to keep doing this 3 times doesn't seem to make sense. Each one of these could have been easily just said, resolutions H2, H3, I hold on H4, and H5, bring it. Why? They've already done everything. They just came here for the formal and final need to have this, not put them through this every single time. The first time, because we need an understanding. The second time, to correct what we told them to correct by way of our consultant. That's what we do. First time they tell us what they want, they tell them how to make it right, they make it right. And the 3rd time, we're ready to vote. So why do we keep doing this over and over? I want the protocol to change so that when they come here, they're not trembling and shaking and thinking we're gonna change our mind after they've already been through the process.
we have a committee meeting, and then they come to us for a second time. There's no 3rd time.
Come on, people. I know I've been here to each one of these, and we got it to this point because we were satisfied. That's how we got here. You left here knowing we were satisfied.
Thank you.
No more justification necessary. That's all I'm saying.
Sir, is this the 2nd or 3rd time you've been in front of us?
Second.
Thank you very much. We have a committee meeting, and it goes to the full council. These
I
properties.
stand corrected. I'm not gonna be stood up over here. I stand corrected.
I-
And that is my true point. We've already been through this. Why can't we just simply vote H2, H3, H5, H4, H5? Why can't we just vote them? I know you gotta do the Robert Rules of Order. I know that. But why can't we just vote them? I mean, if I was him right now, I'd be shaking in my whatevers, thinking that you all gonna change your mind. You already been through the process. That's all I'm asking. Let's be right.
If I may, Mayor.
Yeah, let me just, one thing, Vice Mayor, and I got you. I don't necessarily disagree with you, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. I want to get through these as quickly as possible, but this is the thing. So it goes through committee. At the committee level, at the Planning and Zoning Committee level, that's the committee level. Now, we voted through at the committee level. Once it gets to the council level, we could change our minds. At the council level, we could vote it down at the council level, because this is the council level, right? So at the committee level, it's not a resolution yet. At the council level, if it passes through committee, which is the first step, at the council level, though, the second meeting, the council level, at the council level, it's a resolution. A resolution is a legal document, and therefore, this is the one that really counts. But at this one, from the committee till now, I could have said, you know what? Man, I passed that through the committee, but I don't know if I like that too much. So here at the council level, this might fail. Now, I don't disagree with, trying to put things through as fast as possible, but I just don't think that we could make it like a consent agenda type of thing, to where we just consent them all through. We have to go by them one by one, correct, Attorney Geller? Because it's a hearing.
You know, you're both right, and I don't know if you realize that in different ways you're saying the same thing. 2 hearings are required. The only time there's a third is if you had sent somebody back to make changes because there was a problem, and you said, well, we're not going to approve it this time, but if you make the following changes and come back, that'll be okay. So 2 hearings are required, and you have to, you know, swear witnesses, and you have to have evidence. But that doesn't mean where you've gone over something in detail, you're really not, other than the formal parts, you're not obligated to, you know, go back over everything you did. And I think that's all that the councilwoman is saying is, you know, you don't need to do that, but you do need to do the formal parts. You can't do it in one, but you also don't need to be redundant of what was done at the first meeting, and I think that's, so that's why I say, you're both correct. There's some stuff you gotta do, but you don't have to do what you don't need to do, so that's my only comment.
Appreciate it, Vice Mayor Urban.
Yeah, the only thing I have to add to that is I agree with the attorney. I agree with Dr. Lightfoot Ward. I agree with the mayor. For me, I also see an extra benefit to the public, to the residents of us going through this process, because it's an extra layer of transparency, essentially. So, you know, frequently we have residents say, oh, hold on, wait a minute, you guys didn't even talk about this, and you just passed this significant thing without realizing, sometimes, for example, in the case of the budget, I mean, that we had multiple meetings before this that where this was all hashed out. So while I certainly agree with Dr. Lightfoot Ward that I believe that everyone in this council is in agreement that we have gone through this specific item at length, and we are probably ready to take a vote. I think that there is a added benefit to the public, to the residents, that we fully engage in this process, because for many residents, this would be the first time that they're encountering this. Maybe they're trying to do the similar thing with their property, and they're thinking, wait a minute, you know, or maybe they were denied, you know, something in the initial application of something similar, and not understanding the nuances of what would be different from one application to the next. So, yeah, without adding more redundancy, I'll say I agree with everybody who spoke. So,
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor Urban. Anybody else from the council have any questions or comments about this property? Anybody from the audience, any questions or comments about this property? Madam Clerk, do I have a motion to approve Resolution H2?
so moved.
Moved by Vice Mayor Urban. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Martin. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call on H2?
Roll call. Councilperson Martin.
Yes.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward.
Yes.
Councilperson Perella.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Urban.
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Take care.
Mayor.
Yes.
Item H3.
Yes.
A resolution of the Village Council of El Portal, Florida, authorizing the approval of the variance for a fence in the primary front setback as requested by 9001 Northeast First Avenue LLC, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much, Attorney Geller. How you doing? Come up to the mic. Good to meet you. Give us the like an overview of the staff report and staff recommendation, Camilla.
Yes, Mayor Nickerson. This application, I will move forward with the recommendation and staff report that we had submitted originally, which is the application is for construction of a fence in the front yard with a height of 4 feet with masonry posts and horizontal aluminum slats or slates. Oh, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And this is for the front yard. The frontage is at Northeast First Avenue, which is currently a dead end. It might be open in the future. We need to keep that in mind. That frontage consists of a 25-foot setback, 5-foot sidewalk, and a parkway. The staff recommendation is approval for this fence. Again, we just had a meeting in which we were directed otherwise, but this approval comes with the intent that the design would be subject to to review at the council, at the public hearings in which it has been presented. So that is, staff recommendation is approval for this variance application. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anybody from the council object to accepting the staff recommendation of approval?
Mr. Mayor, I don't object to the recommendation. I just like to, like I said in the meeting before, explain to the public why this address is an LLC and that it is not in violation. But if they give the attorney a chance to do that, then nobody will come back and say the applicant did not disclose that. And that's what I liked about this applicant. He actually disclosed that he was doing business.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Apparently, my understanding, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, is the title holder of the property is a corporation, which is certainly permitted under law. And that is the owner, and therefore it's the owner that's applying. And the address is incorporated into the corporate name of the owner. That's the reason.
Thank you very much, Attorney Geller. And see how things work out. Everything worked out. See, even Councilperson Lightfoot Ward had a question about this. Look, if we would have passed right through it, she wouldn't even be able to ask her question.
No,
There we-
I would have asked, I would have wanted to do it anyway, but I
There we
wouldn't have
go.
wanted this man to feel like he's under, because this other guy looked like he was like trembling, saying, no, don't be scared, we're not gonna beat you up, we're not doing that.
It's all good. We all work out. We all work out. Okay, I appreciate you, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. You know I love you. Any other questions about this property from the council?
No questions, but if I may, Mayor, so in the planning and zoning meeting that we had at 6 today, we're changing how we do fences and how we view fences in the village of El Portal, hopefully. So this was one of the last variances, I think, that Serbia is going to recommend approval. But I understand that they have already recommended approval, so I'm willing to move forward with what staff has recommended. But I'm excited about how things are going to change shortly.
Thank you very much, Councilperson Martin. Appreciate that. Councilperson Martin is the chairperson of the Planning and Zoning Committee. Any other questions or comments from the council? Hearing none. Any questions or comments from the audience? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution H3?
So move.
Moved by Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Do I have a second?
We need a second.
Nobody wants a second? I would need a second for this to go to vote. If I don't get a second,
It's not going anywhere.
if I don't get a second on this, this will die for lack of a motion passing through to a second. I'll ask one more time. Do I have a second for Resolution H3?
I'm not trying to suggest anything, Mayor, but you are privileged to second.
We've never done that, Attorney Geller, in all my years.
I'll second. Let's bring it to a vote. I'll second.
Second by Vice Mayor Erbaum. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call?
Councilperson Martin.
This is kind of spicy. I say no. No.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward.
Yes.
Councilperson Perella.
No.
Vice Mayor Erbaum.
I'm sorry, but no.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion fails 3 to 2.
Sir, I'm sorry about that. The motion failed.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on, you guys, Resolution H4, Attorney Geller. Thank you very much, Camilla and Juan. You guys take care. Have a great night. I need an email from you, Juan.
All right. Item H4, resolution of the Village Council of the Village of El Portal of Miami-Dade County, Florida, providing for the approval of the interlocal agreement between the Village of El Portal and Miami-Dade County Clerk of Courts, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date.
Yeah, Manager Alou, we're on H4. Oh, I'm sorry. No problem. The interlocal.
If I can please bring Major Harrison up to the podium to discuss this interlocal agreement that we are pursuing.
Good evening, everyone. This is basically,
State your name. State your name.
Major Tom Harrison. This is basically an agreement with Miami-Dade County Clerk of Courts. They're going paperless for the citations, so no longer be issuing paper citations. They'll all be done electronically, printed out through our paper. So they're, as of last month, they are no longer handing out paper citations.
Manager Lou, you wanna jump in?
Yeah, so we are recommending or requesting to be able to move forward in this interlocal agreement so that we, in our vein of pursuing excellence in technology as well, we want to also to follow the county's model and work with them for e-citations.
Thank you very much.
Point of
Any
order,
questions?
Mayor, point of order, I didn't hear a word was said. Say
Because
that
the train
again.
was passing by, Madam Manager. Say
Okay,
it
I'll
again.
restate. Sorry. I'm accustomed to the train. My office is right at the tracks. We want to follow in the county's footsteps with the citations. The village is pursuing technology in everything that we're doing, and this is a way to eliminate the use of paper and filings. We can do all of the filing in the cloud, and it's just a way to move forward. So we do want to pursue this interlocal agreement and I guess, contribute to the county's effort with e-citations.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments for either Manager Lou or Major Harrison?
Yes. You'll still be doing tickets.
Correct. Actually, the county. Sorry. The county has it, so as soon as our paper tickets run out, we won't be able to give tickets. So this is kind of something that has to be done for us to give citations. They will no longer issue paper tickets. We won't have any, when we run out, we will be having stock.
So you'll still be stopping people,
Absolutely.
and you give them something. What you give them?
If we don't have citations, verbal warnings is all.
Wait now. So when, so I can speed and do whatever I want, but I won't get a ticket and it'll be okay.
We will have the access and tracks, the system we use to write citations.
Okay,
We just need to be linked to the courts to transmit what have you, all the tickets.
okay.
I have one question. Is there any cost, nominal or significant, associated with accomplishing this?
No, there's no cost to the village of El Portal.
Any more questions or comments from the council to either Manager Lou or Major Harrison? Hearing, seeing none. Any questions from the audience about this particular item? Hearing, seeing none. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution H4?
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Martin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Madam Clerk, may I please have roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilperson Martin.
Yes.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward.
Yes.
Councilperson Perella.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Urbom.
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. When you get a chance, Attorney Geller, Resolution H5.
Freezing in here.
Resolution H5, a resolution of the Village Council of the Village of El Portal, Florida, of Miami-Dade County, Florida, approving an increase of the existing code enforcement software service through GovPilot to administer short-term vacation rentals in the Village of El Portal, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much, Attorney Geller. Appreciate that. This is short-term rental, you guys. I don't know where you guys want to start. We had Councilperson Martin, I might just turn it over to you. I know this was your item. We had a town hall, right? Talking about, this was like the last part to make our original ordinance go into effect is the structure of the fees. And so that's the last thing we have left. We went through a lot of things and spoke about a lot of things that day at the town hall. Manager Lou, in her supporting documents, has her suggestion about what the fee should be. We'll start with the council. Do you have any questions about the fee structure that Manager Lou proposed? Questions or comments? If not, I'll go to the audience.
So I do want to just, for my own clarity, we're doing two things tonight. We're saying, yes, we want to scale up our membership with GovPilot to administer our short-term vacation rental program. And in addition to that, we are solidifying the fees, right?
Yes, absolutely, because GovPilot, that program has the fee structure, comes with that program.
Okay.
So, and that program is a program that's being used by multiple municipalities all around the place. So, Manager Alou, if you want to chime in on that.
Yes, I will. We've, as the mayor has described, and thank you for holding the town halls, and we've gone through a significant discussion about the fees, and I provided you the recommendation memo that discusses why I recommend these fees, and had significant conversations with our new code enforcement officer who will be administering the code, the short-term vacation rental regulations for the village. We have had many conversations with software providers. We already do our code enforcement software through GovPilot. They have extra components that we would have to build with GovPilot to make it customized to the Village of El Portal. They are available if we want to ask them questions over the phone. They are in another state. But we have been working with them to build those components. And we just ask that you allow us to pursue the subscription agreement, which is annual subscription fee of $4,000 annually. They discounted it. It's reported, I'm sorry, it's typically $10,000. I think Mr. Simmons is here. He's gone over this with me. And you can see the package level is basic, but it's a built-in. So it's something that we will enhance as we continue to administrate short-term vacation rental. And because it's our first year doing this, it's new, it's an evolving process. So I think this will get us where we need to go in terms of just starting to enforce the ordinance. And it will allow us to maybe take a look at it within 12 to 18 months to see where we're at and if what we need to build out further for this.
That makes sense to me. Thank you for your hard work on that. That memo really clarified all of the elements that go into administering this program, and I appreciated that aspect of it, as well as a snapshot as what some other similarly situated municipalities are doing, and I think I have enough information to move forward, personally.
Thank you very much. Anybody else from the council? Any questions or comments before I move to the audience?
Was this Mr. Mayor, was
Yes.
this the only company that want to do this?
No, there are many companies that do software. This is the company that we already have a contract with, and we figured we would use what we have because it's compatible with our existing service, and it's still a very competitive program. Mr. Simmons is here. He can speak more about it because he's the one who's actually working with GovPilot to build it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, GovPilot is the one that is vastly used amongst municipalities all around. also.
Absolutely, and we did take quotes from others as well, but found that this was the more affordable way of starting this process, but also, again, the compatibility and the customer service aspect helps.
Good evening. What's this on?
Say your full name and your position.
Yeah, I don't
Oh.
think he's been
How you all
formally
doing?
introduced, right?
How you all doing? I'm Fitzgerald Simmons. I'm the new code enforcement officer. As Madam Manager stated, the GovPilot is the new code enforcement software that we are utilizing within the village. I'm currently in the process of all the manual open code violations we have. I'm currently entering it in GovPilot because BS&A doesn't do like a data transfer. And if they were to do a data transfer, it would take approximately 5 months, as well as, so I may be in another process of the case and they wouldn't be able to transfer. So this is more, what primarily with the software is that no matter what software we go with, we have to build it to around Village of El Portal. So since I've been working diligently with GovPilot right now, establishing the program for the Village of El Portal, you know, like implementing our ordinances. All of this I am doing manually because they're not doing it correctly. But so no matter what code software we utilize, it will have to be built and designed to be best utilized for the Village of El Portal. So since we've already been paying it the past couple of months, I finally have it up and running. It's something that I was gonna, you know, let everyone know at the informational expose we have this weekend, that the links are up on the village's website where they can go in there, they can submit, they can file what is called a report of concern. They're able to track the concern as I progressively go through it as far as the investigation is concerned. And when it comes to short-term vacation rental, it's very demanding. You know, it all depends on what happens is that we can't regulate the individuals that are the property is being rented to. But with stiff fines and regulations in place, it would definitely help. And it will hold the owners accountable. But as far as the software is concerned, I've been building it up hand by hand with GovPilot. So yeah, this is definitely the best course of action.
Vice Mayor, I needed your permission to talk. Have you completed anything like this before, sir?
In reference to
What you just said, you're building it. This is the first time you built it?
no, but I have experience.
You said
within-
no, but. So, yes or no, do you know this software to work?
No, I've never utilized GovPilot before.
But you-
regardless of the code software that we do decide to go with, we have to design it for the Village of El Portal. So what happens is they give us this software and we have to go through the program and we have to say, okay, we need you to add this, which has currently been my issue with just the code enforcement portion of it. So now that I have that up and running, once they insert the short-term vacation rental, it shouldn't be an issue. And that's primarily, when it comes to short-term vacation rental, it's primarily going to be utilized to enforce the ordinance for short-term vacation rentals.
All right, I'm convinced. You know what you're talking about.
May I also, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, Mr. Simmons does have experience utilizing a short-term vacation rental software from his previous position as a code enforcement officer, and he's also a code or a short-term rental inspector. So we do have the best of both with Mr. Simmons.
I've done the inspection, short-term vacation rental inspection. Yes, ma'am.
He said yes, Mayor.
I hear you, Councilperson.
But in reference to directly with the program, no matter what software we utilize, we have to design it for the Village of El Portal.
Yes. Thank you.
I do have one question, if I may. So what you're saying is that what you're working with now, building out on the code enforcement side, that's GovPilot, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So this is just an extension of what you're already mastering?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson Martin.
Yeah, my question is, first I want to thank you again. It's great to have you, sincerely. And so, my only question is, as you've been working with GovPilot, does it seem like it is the type of software that will survive into the future in terms of multiple years down the road, where this process of would not have to be duplicated again, because at some point the software is not adequate. It's not up to the task, or for whatever reason is not like how with BSA you're not able to transfer data,
Yes,
things like
yes,
that.
yes.
So as you've had some genuine experience with GovPilot, since you're doing everything manually and you're in it, how has GovPilot been for you in terms of thinking, hey, you know what, they have it together, they've been thinking about this, it works the way it's supposed to, things like
Yes.
that?
No issues. There are a few bugs as far as the mobile app is concerned.
Okay.
When it comes to
So when
me
you're out
being
in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as the software itself, how it works, no
Okay.
issues.
Okay,
It's something that we may be able to just stick with going forward.
right.
But what happens is that, as I stated before, all softwares work differently. They're not the same. Some are better than others. Some are worse.
Certainly.
But
This one.
once it's designed for, to be best utilized for the Village of El Portal, it should function with no issues.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Any more questions or comments for either Manager Lou or our code enforcement officer? Moving out to the audience, if you have any questions about this item, come to the podium, say your name and address for the record, and the floor is yours for about 3 minutes.
Hello, I'm Robert Rose, 144 Northwest 87th Street. My wife and I, along with our immediately adjacent neighbors that live next door to us and across the street, diagonally across the street as well, are deeply concerned about the situation with these short-term rentals. The house at 110 Northwest 87th Street, the last we checked, it is actively advertising itself as a party house, short-term rental. It's absolutely unreasonably loud over there at any day of the week, any time. And we've noticed an increase in speeding on the street. I think the house at 110 has a pool, and that's one of the reasons they advertise themselves as a party house. The house at 147 Northwest 87th Street is currently putting in a pool. They're also operating as a short-term rental. So we urgently need this to be reeled in, and we're concerned about the time frame for, it sounds like there's a degree of time that's going to take to implement this GovPilot. And if you could explicitly address what can we do until it's fully implemented. And I was curious, there's a $4,000, is that an annual fee?
Yes.
And will the village recoup that money through fees charged to
Yes.
people that are participating in short-term rentals? And additionally, off topic, but I'd like to ask about speed bumps on Northwest 87th, if that can be addressed.
Yeah, we're currently in the middle of not even in the middle yet. We're like at the 15% mark of we're doing the village-wide traffic study. So that's begun. We just and
I'll say with 87th specifically, as well as the other main corridors, Miami and Northeast 2nd, these are county regulated roads. So the traffic study, which has been attempted before on a smaller scale, was not successful in convincing the county to lower the speed limit specifically. Former Chief Magnuson had done a traffic study on 87th, and what we basically learned from that was that it's not necessarily a speeding problem, it's a speed limit problem. So people were relatively within margin of error on speed limit, right, plus or minus, 5 or so, right? And really the issue was glaringly obvious that the speed limit's the problem. And that is going to be the county giving us permission to lower that speed limit, or the county lowering the speed limit from our request. And the traffic study that the mayor just mentioned is, which will be far more extensive than what's been done in the past. That is where, that's the meat and potatoes of convincing the county that we have a need to lower the speed limit. So in a nutshell, that's that piece. I don't know if anyone wants to speak about the
I would.
initial questions. Yeah.
I would love to, because through this process that we've been going through, we've heard a lot from the operators of short-term vacation rentals, and it's really good to hear from someone who has had their quiet enjoyment disturbed by the operation of some of those short-term vacation rentals, because I've been in the same situation. So I do want to reassure you that we're not that far away. We've passed the ordinance, so we do have an ordinance. What we're doing tonight is to just determine the fees. And once we determine the fees, then there will be effective date. And the discussions that we're having about GovPilot, I don't want that to be discouraging either, because whether or not the software is fully up and running, which I'm sure it will be, once there is an effective date on that ordinance, then that will be the law of the land, right? And El Portal is that, people can't infringe upon your ability to enjoy your property without there being some sort of consequence. And I know that there are tons of responsible short-term vacation rental owners, and I'm sure we'll hear from some, but the ones that we're targeting are ones that do not care about the residents next to them and who are operating outside of what is reasonable and tolerable in the village. So I do appreciate hearing from you, and I do want to reassure you and your neighbors that there is a remedy, and that remedy will be here in short order. And I appreciate you standing up and expressing that viewpoint tonight. I know you've waited a while to say that. It's been a lengthy meeting for us nowadays, but a lot of people that I encounter in the village have expressed the same sentiment, so I appreciate you putting it on record.
I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Mayor.
but for clarification, the code software is fully functional. It's up and running. As far as the short-term vacation portion of it, it will be GovPilot's responsibility to monitor how many short-term vacation rentals are being advertised within Village of El Portal.
Thank you for that clarification. So they can report now.
Yes,
and
yes.
Perfect.
So
Great
the
clarification.
current issue is that once the ordinance is adopted, then I am able to enforce our ordinance for them being a short-term vacation rental. That property in particular, I understand we had an issue approximately a month or two ago, and there was a wild party that was thrown. Unfortunately, I couldn't cite for them being a short-term vacation rental, but I did cite them for violating our noise ordinance.
Very good.
So we're fully aware of it, but what happens is that GovPilot will monitor everyone that's advertising short-term vacation rental without approval, and that's when I come into play using the software to enforce our ordinance. So for clarification, the software is up and running. So whenever I'm out and about and I'm actually issuing notices, I'm utilizing the software.
I like you already.
Mayor?
Thank you.
Because this is a champion right here. He's a champion. He's not one of those people. But anyway, did you get that address, 147 Northwest 87th Street? You got that?
147.
Uh-huh. Because that's what they said. Is did you not say 147 Northwest?
No, 110.
Okay, okay, we get 87th Street, right?
I wrote it down
Okay,
too.
so this is beautiful. He comes, you've already been, a couple other people came and said, we don't do that. We don't do it like that. We try to do it right. This guy says this. So we're not trying to do that. I'm trying to get to his point, is that we didn't know that address. Now we do. And listen, on my street, Councilwoman, they moved. They moved real quick. They're gone, all three of them. Thank you. Thank you, because he was an advocate. You got to do something. I got it too, but I don't have them noisy like that. So when you come and you start talking, now you fill the gap. Now I just need you to make sure that you got those addresses, because we don't play in El Portal with no noisy people.
Absolutely, and I also want to go on record and let you all know, it's very important that you all, I don't want to say complain, but utilize the village's website. Like I say, the links are there. The concerns will come directly to me. Once I get in the morning, that's the first thing I check prior to going out in the field. But it's beneficial to us for you all to file these concerns, because there are, I'm not here all day. And you may think just because I'm not here, there's no consequences, but there are. Once PD respond, primarily with 110, that was approximately 1 in the morning. I was able to utilize the law enforcement incident report as evidence to support my case. So definitely file your concerns.
Very good.
And of course, by law, you have to, provide, your name, some form of contact information. You can't be anonymous unless is considered a health and safety. All right.
Any other questions from the audience? I mean, the council for Mr. Simmons or the last resident that stood up? No, we're good?
Pascal DePool, 177 Northwest 90th Street. Just a quick question about GovPilot. We obviously have never seen that software as hosts on short-term rentals. Is there a place, or will there be something that will train us or tell us what we need to do in order to comply with that? And then I have one other thing for you.
When it comes to applying.
How to use it, what to do with it as a host.
And registration still will go through.
Right.
the-
Yes, there will be. The application will be online, and the how to, your step-by-step will also be there, as long, and also your checklist of all the things that are needed for your package.
Okay, perfect.
So, yeah, we'll have that for you.
Just as an aside, I think that's interesting to you too. Airbnb changed their policy. I'm not sure about the other short-term rentals about 2 months ago, where it's now not legal for them on the platform to have party houses. So they actually have a phone number. I don't know what it is, but I'll get it to the council. My wife knows it, where you can call and say, hey, there's an Airbnb next to me. They're throwing a party, and Airbnb will shut them down and remove them from the platform. So completely outside of anything the council's doing, you can go directly to those people, and they have a number to call. And if they deem that that was a party that's violating their rules, not only will they get a fine from the village, but they won't be able to utilize that short-term rental platform anymore.
And that's Airbnb specific is what.
Airbnb specifically does that. Yeah, they changed it where now they don't allow you to have parties on the platform.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the audience? Hearing none. Any last questions or comments from the council? Hearing none.
No, I do.
Oh, yes, go ahead. Councilperson Lightfoot.
Village manager, thank you. Hired the right man.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you did.
I agree.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Sometimes you kiss a frog or two to get to the prince.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here, and I look to be here for the long haul. So, thank you.
Not literally, of course.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you, Mr. Simmons, and looking forward to seeing you Saturday. I have something special for you on Saturday.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you. All right. Moving on, so we have a new H6 now in H7, which was the former F3 and F4. Oh, no, we do you have a motion to approve? I was just about to ask for the motion. Do you have a motion to approve Resolution H5?
One question. So when's the number? Are we just accepting the manager's recommendation for the, okay, perfect.
700, 750,
Great.
2,000, 200, okay.
Do I have a motion to approve Resolution H5?
So move.
Moved by Councilperson Perrella. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Martin, who's the chairperson of Planning and Zoning, who was the one that formulated it. And I know Councilperson Perrella's been fighting for this for a long time, so it's going through, you guys. Both of you guys deserve kudos for this. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call?
Councilperson Martin.
Yes.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Councilperson Perrella.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Erba.
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much, you guys. We appreciate it. Moving on, very good, you guys.
That's it.
Mayor, the former F3 is now H6 because it was pulled. A resolution of the Village Council of the Village of El Portal, Miami-Dade County, Florida, providing for the replacement of a police storage unit for the Village of El Portal, Miami-Dade County, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date.
Councilperson Perrella, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, yes, I guess we'll need the Public Works officer or,
We have a police major present to
Recommended.
discuss if you need to
Yes,
understand that,
yes,
as well
my-
as the Public Works Director and Public
perfect.
Works Coordinator.
perfect, thank you. Yes, my question about this is, because I see the 3 quotes, and I see one of the ones that been recommended, out of the 3 quotes, and I don't see the scoop of work that needs to be done. I don't know what the requirements for the storage unit should be for the police equipment and stuff like that, being that is a little sensitive. If it's, the unit was required to be built with steel walls, since we have 2 quotes being actually from companies that build steel units. And the last one is actually built with wood. So, and it also caught my attention that one of the least expensive quotes is by a company that was just formed like a month after they gave us a quote. So that was my concern, whether, you know, it needs to be actual, you know, because I know the other quotes are like $18,000 more than the recommended one, but what their specifications are. Like, it's one built with steel walls, I prefer that, even though it's $18,000 more than the one that's all in wood.
All this, my name, piggybacking, how old is the current shed and how long has it been old?
Let me just chime in really quickly, and then you guys can get to that, because this might answer part of your question, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. So first of all, let me just say this. This shed would be paid for through funding. It's no taxpayer dollars. Okay, so that's the first thing, is funding. The second thing is that one of the main problems and main issues is that the shed, the old shed, was just that. It was just a shed, kind of like how you think of like a regular shed in the back of somebody's yard or something like that. And the problem with that is that a lot of the papers and documents were going bad. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times the papers and documents were going bad, you guys, and so this shed would be ventilated, and so it would keep all the important papers and documents that we need to keep as far as that goes. I know that's part of it. I'm gonna let you guys chime in after that, but the main point I just wanted to make is this is going to be paid through funding. This is not taxpayer dollars. That's the main point I did want to make.
Right. As the manager was saying, what was destroyed inside, we have to, for a certain amount of years, we have to keep records. And obviously in that case, not air conditioned, not ventilated, paperwork was destroyed, rotting, what have you, animals getting inside there. Evidence that we had stored in there, bicycles, what have you, rusted and what have you, and went bad, basically.
Yeah, my question is the requirements for the shed. If it's been, you know, used for police equipment or police records, should it be like more like
The term is weatherproof. So
Weatherproof.
The term is weatherproof. Whether it be
so it
wood,
doesn't matter
steel,
whether it's built with it's steel walls
it could
or
be treated
woodwork?
wood, as long as it states, right, as long as it states weatherproof, where it can't be damaged by any water
Okay.
getting in, humidity,
Okay,
has proper ventilation, preferably air conditioning if you can.
right.
Is full steel, complete insulator? Is full steel? Oh, my name is Carlos Aguera. I am the Public Work Coordination in the city of the Portal. Okay. The specification of the shelter is full steel, okay? Only is the base is attached to the floor, is hurricane proof all the time. It has air conditioning, it has insulation, and it has full ventilation inside for control the full humidity inside of the unit.
Right. Also, the quote that you guys are recommending for $40,000, this company, it's not because of what I see on the specs of the materials, it's wood, sheet of wood with
No wood.
stucco. No wood. It's gonna be
wood.
steel.
Metal full the time, all the time.
And it caught my attention that the company's only been formed for a month.
Yeah.
So I don't want somebody to just get the money and run away.
No, we
So
can
it is a
supervise-
company, you know,
We can supervise the control, the building of the house, because the house is full building in front of us.
So these people,
by
they
feet.
do have experience by building
Absolutely.
houses and stuff. Okay,
Absolutely.
okay, that was my question.
Warranty, I think it's 5 years or 4 years, I don't remember, but it's full warranty. Let me see. Right here. I think the warranty is 10 years.
The warranty is 10 years. You good now?
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions or comments from the council for any of these individuals? Any questions from the audience regarding the police shed? Again, this is through funding, no taxpayer dollars. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, you guys. Do I have a? Okay. Thank you.
The floor.
Yeah, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, you have the floor.
How far is the floor from the ground? Because we flood over here.
The floor of the ground is around 12 feet, 1 feet.
It's a foot,
The foot.
the
1 feet
concrete,
in steel, full steel in the base. And this steel is attached to the floor, and the other floor is in the top of the metal.
is it concrete or is it
No,
wood?
it's not concrete.
What is it?
It's metal.
So it could rot.
Yeah.
It can rust.
Like, it's, still doesn't rust. The name is, the correct name is Durock. Dura rock is the floor. Dura rock.
If they're using shower material, it can withstand water.
Oh, now you answer my question. That's all I can, because
It
it
can
floods
hold
back
water,
there.
Correct, right. It's basically weatherproof and watertight.
All right. See why I asked? 'Cause it floods back there.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Thank you very much, Councilperson Perrella. Do I have any further questions or comments from the council? Do I have any questions or comments from the audience? Do I have a motion to approve Resolution H6?
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Martin. Do I have a second? Second by Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call, Resolution H6?
Roll call, Councilperson Martin.
Yes.
Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Councilperson Perrella.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Earlbaum.
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. Attorney Geller.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, the new H7, formerly F4, resolution of the Village Council of the Village of El Portal, Miami-Dade County, Florida, providing for paver repairs for the Village of El Portal, Miami-Dade County, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date.
Thank you very much, Attorney Geller. Councilperson Perrella, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Now, about 87, I just have a question for the mayor, for the manager. Are these funds also from, see, it says 87, are those funds from the CITT fund or
Yeah.
the
No, we're using CITT funds for
CITT
that.
funds for that?
Yeah, that's road.
And I see is mostly all the intersections where it has pavers, like the
Yes.
bricks.
Uh-huh. So 87th Street at Northeast Second and 82nd Street right here at the rotunda.
Right. And I see that I'm sorry, you have a?
Finish.
I see that also that, so are those, I just passed by those intersections and I don't see much of only the ones over here by the rotunda. There are actually sinking and stuff, but the other ones, I don't see the bricks actually falling off or sinking.
There is a sinking on at the intersection of 87th. There is a sinking of that, and that has been complained about from motorists as well. But there is at that intersection of Northeast 2nd and 82nd.
Now, we spoke about, thank you, and we spoke about the ones over here that was actually fixed like less than 2 years ago.
Maybe a bit more than 2 years
Yes,
ago.
it was like a year and a half, almost 2
Yes.
years ago. And but it's the same company that we're using now?
No.
So it's not
No.
One Stop
Os-
Paver?
No, we're
You do-
using Osuna. Osuna is
Using
gonna do
Osuna
it.
for that?
We
Ah,
are.
okay,
They came in with a lower bid, and we're gonna give them a chance and see
Okay,
if they can do
perfect.
it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Okay.
That was my concern. If you're
I-
using the same company that just repaired like a year and a half ago, I don't know whether they did a good job or not.
Well, we thought they did. They showed up. That was our biggest concern 2 years ago. But yeah, we're using Osuna this time.
Okay,
Thank
sounds
you.
great.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward.
we're laughing, but you're right. It didn't last. So that was thank you. That was my main concern, that it's not the same person, that this time they're gonna make sure, because that thing broke so quickly.
Yeah.
The last time, as you just mentioned, it broke so quickly, and then they kept bandaging it with a new brick. But it's not supposed to break like that. So I'm thinking something else is under there that's causing it. If they're not gonna do it right, we don't want them to. Thank you very much for finding somebody else.
Thank you very much, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward.
I like it
Appreciate
sinking so people don't speed that much, but that's all.
Thank you very much, Councilperson Perrella. Anybody else from the council, questions or comments? Anybody from the audience, questions or comments? All right, appreciate this. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution H7?
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilperson Pereira. Do I have a second on this? Second by Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Madam Clerk, may I please have a roll call?
Roll call. Councilperson Martin. Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. Councilperson Perrella.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Earlbaum.
Yes.
Mayor Nickerson.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
I appreciate that, you guys. Thank you very much. We're moving on to the reports. Madam Manager, your report, please. Let me just say before, while you're getting your report together, Madam Manager, or while you're pulling it out, I know you have it
It's
together, but
together.
while you're putting
Go
it out,
ahead.
while you're pulling it out, let me just say, you know, once again, I appreciate you guys up here. I appreciate everybody up here. And it just goes to show, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, that even if there's any tension, at the end of the day, we still all have ultimate respect for one another, and we still always come together and we smile in the end. And and Vice Mayor Earlbaum, you've been up here with me, it used to not be like that. And so things are so much better. And so even if we debate or whatever, we still smile at the end. And Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, you know I love you. I know. All right, Madam Manager, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. This month, the state of Florida was hit with Hurricane Ian, with most damage occurring on the Gulf Coast of the state. But in preparation for Hurricane Ian, Mayor Nickerson and the Public Works Department and the Village of El Portal Police Department and the administration, we all prepared and delivered sandbags to members of the community who needed them. And the most we suffered was flooding in our usual spots, but I was out there the day that it struck, and residents were really happy, and they expressed that delight that we were able to provide them sandbags. So we'll be ready for the next go-round. Hopefully we'll have a peaceful end to the season, but as the Vice Mayor stated, you know, Thanksgiving, you never know what happens. We did receive our appeal amount of $448,998.21 for our debris and other appealed Hurricane Irma expenses on Monday, September 26, 2022. And I'm pleased. Yes, we are all. That's great news. I mean, we will continue to fight for the rest, but that really contributes to that bottom line of what is owed to Synovus Bank for our note. We owe $695,551.21. So we'll be very close to about $200,000 approximately that we will owe remaining, and I think that puts us in a fantastic light. And hopefully we'll get through this season with no issues, so then we'll be even more prepared for next year. So we're pleased about that, and thank you all for just remaining diligent with me, and I mean, we worked it.
Madam Manager?
Yes.
Don't give away my whole state of the village now.
Oh, sorry. Well, you know, these are my, I'm happy about these.
Just for the
things.
record, this administration, we've been here for 2 years.
Yes.
When we came into office,
Right.
FEMA debacle, we were like at 1.4 million.
Yeah.
Now we're down to 200,000.
Yeah.
That's part of my State of the Village address, but I'm just going to put that one
Okay,
out
no,
there,
no,
you know what I mean?
that's this, yeah, that's for the kudos for this administration, absolutely. I will say that for the Village of El Portal Parks renovations, the plans are still being finalized. I mean, they're almost there, but we are almost ready to do a request for proposals so that we can find the contractor who will be doing the renovations. And information and renovation will be distributed to the residents via the village website. And as a special project, Councilperson Louis Perrella, who is the chair of Public Works Committee, will be vetting muralists for the mural project that he has envisioned for the entrance of the tot lot. So that will be forthcoming as well. The Village of El Portal electric circulator is continuing to do good work for our Village of El Portal residents and taking them to and from work peacefully. We are going to be utilizing the El Portal electric shuttle at the This Is Our Village event this Saturday. They typically don't work on Saturdays or Sundays, but they will come out to contribute their assistance to our residents who are on the west side, just providing shuttle service to and from the Village Hall from the nature trail so that residents don't have to come over here and park, since parking will be very limited at the event. So the shuttle will be running from 1:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. to bring residents back and forth from the west side if they so choose to utilize the shuttle. I will tell you that our Cavista development project in the El Portal Annex area is continuing. They've made significant progress. If you ever have an opportunity to ride over on 83rd, Northeast 83rd Street, you will see things have changed over there, and they continue to progress. We have been getting a number of complaints from some residents in the city of Miami about the noise. Cavista continues to follow the letters of the regulations to the T. They always apply for special events permits when they have special pours. Unfortunately, those pours have to be they start at 3 o'clock in the morning to 8 a.m. because they have to get to the plant to get the cement transported back to the village of El Portal to do the pour, and it has to be done during darker hours when it's cooler so that they can do a good pour. We want this to be done right, and this is the way it has to be done, unfortunately, and we are looking forward to them ending the whole cement pours by December. So fingers crossed, and they're hoping for that as well. But it looks like they're almost done, and those residents in that area will be able to sleep a little better at night. They will not be doing a cement pour over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, just an FYI. Police Chief Mendez, our El Portal Police Department, and myself participated at the Miami-Dade County League of Cities 10th Annual Best Practices Conference. Two of the most attended and most vibrant sessions of the Best Practices Conference were moderated by our own village mayor, Elmar Nickerson. There were some robust discussions, and people, it was a lot of fun, but Chief Mendez was participated in the panel regarding humanizing the badge, community policing and enforcement, and I participated on another panel related to how to recover after disaster, how to bring the municipality back to success. So they were well attended, and we've been getting pats on the back ever since. And so we're looking forward to new opportunities with other municipalities and with the county. And we will participate, well, I won't, but our mayor and our El Portal Police Department will be participating in the Miami-Dade County Hometown Heroes Parade on this Sunday, October 30th, in downtown Miami from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's limited. They're only allowing one car from El Portal, so the mayor will go with with the major. But we're happy to have representatives in the parade because we want to celebrate them as well. In the building department, we have Cynthia Lazo joining the department as a permit clerk until Miss Dina Escobar returns from her maternity leave. And if you didn't know already, she did have a wonderful little baby boy, and we missed that time because we had to cancel the September council meeting, so I wasn't able to make that announcement. But the mother and baby are very healthy and happy, but Miss Cindy Lazo will be taking over until she's able to return in December. So we're happy for that. And let's see if there's anything. Oh, I tried to highlight everything. The biggest thing, and I'm sure the mayor will talk about his own, this is our Village Information Expo. I'm going to save the details for him to discuss with you, but I will just reiterate that we do have the free shuttle service that will allow people to go back and forth from the west side to the east side. And the village did host, Mayor Nickerson and the Sustainability and Resiliency Task Force Chairperson and I hosted the National Science Foundation workshop tour here at the Village Hall. They are doing a resiliency tour of Miami-Dade County, really looking at, the issues related to the C7 Little River Canal and, what's happening to it, what can we do to improve the situation. And so they met with us here in Village Hall at the beginning of the month, and we had a great discussion and information sharing with people from Tennessee and California. It was a really good group to find out what's happening in their communities and maybe, share some best practices. And finally, I did attend the Miami Shores Village Gay Pride event, which was October 16th, where Mayor Nickerson participated in the parade, and I saw several El Portal residents present because it was the inaugural event to support the LGBTQ community of Miami Shores. And of course, we support our own community here in El Portal, but want to always be there to support our neighbors as well. That concludes my report. It is on the village website. If you want to get more details, feel free to reach me directly. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Manager. Really appreciate that. Do want to give a shout out to, Shores Pride, Miami Shores, the LGBTQ community over there, because I just wanted to say that I was honored that I was awarded at that event as Best Dressed. I was awarded as Best Dressed. I had, if anybody follows us on Instagram, just look at the Instagram, you'll see all the work I put in, because I was here the night before until like 2 in the morning. And what I did was I had, I had huge flags, like the 3x5 and 4x6 flags. I had 8 of them. And so I laid them out, and then I had probably about 24 of every type of pride flag that was out there, for trans pride, lesbian pride, the traditional pride flag, every pride flag. And so I also had a shirt made, and on the front, it was in pink and purple glitter. And on the front, it says LGBTQ supports pride. And on the back, it said Mayor in pink, and it said Omar in purple glitter. And so I was out there, I was doing it, and my flags were so huge, Madam Manager. You could see them from like a mile away. And I had all the flags together. I had 4 on this side and 4 on this side. So I'm just walking and my flags is flying in the air. So I won Best Dressed for that. So I appreciate Miami Shores and Shores Pride for that. That was really a humbling experience and something I'll never forget. Let me say this. I was blessed to... You guys know I was blessed to be named Mayor of the Year for Miami-Dade County, and part of that comes with being the individual that was so lucky that I was able to get 2 sessions and create 2 sessions at the Miami-Dade League of Cities, the countywide best practices event, which the manager kind of touched on. And so I got 2 sessions to do that. And let me just say for the record, that even though I got those 2 sessions, the first one was humanizing the badge, community policing, communication, and enforcement. And so the reason why, and manager she kind of alluded to this, that after this was over, everybody was talking about it. And at the news contacted me, everybody was talking about it. And the reason why was because when I started to put these together, I was like, man, I want to kind of start to do things or say stuff that not everybody has said before. And so when I started out, and when I first started out that session at this event, I said, I know that I'm going to make a lot of people angry on this. I said, but I'm going to say a lot of things. I'm taking things from angles that nobody else would take things from. And so the whole humanizing the badge, community policing, communication, and enforcement, this was my explanation when I first started the session and proposed it. This is what I sent in to get approved for my session. This was the first one. What I sent in was, this session will entail an honest and transparent discussion regarding the current state of law enforcement community relations. We will address the history of those relations, the issues that still persist today, and the methods and practices that can be implemented to resolve said issues. We will discuss our law enforcement officers, what they feel, what they think, and how they balance community policing with enforcement. We will discuss the importance of communication between law enforcement officers and the various communities as we humanize the badge. And basically, in the gist, what that basically means, and the stance I took, where a lot of people I knew wasn't going to like, and I did that on purpose, and I'm glad they didn't like it, was how do police officers feel, and what do they go through mentally? Because whenever something happens, the news automatically always goes to the family of the victim or whatever happened. And they interview them, and they talk to them, and they have one-on-one conversations, and they're on Good Morning America and all that. Nobody ever talks to the police officer's family. Nobody ever checks up with the police officer 8 months down the road or a year down the road to see how they're dealing with things mentally. You never hear from that side. So I took it from that side. And I wanted people not to like it because that's something that never, ever gets talked about. And I put a panel together. And it was a panel, people were still saying, Mayor, how'd you put that panel together? We never see these individuals together. And it was Mayor Anthony DeFilippo from North Miami Beach, Mayor Rodney Harris from Miami Gardens, Mayor Bovo from Hialeah. People were like, Mayor, how'd you even get, because it took place over here on Biscayne downtown, right, right, Major? They were like, how'd you get Mayor Bovo from Hialeah to even come over here? Mayor Bovo don't even leave Hialeah. Mayor Bovo from Hialeah, he doesn't come this far east. Mayor Bovo from Hialeah. I got the vice president of the FOP, Felix de Rosario, and I got our chief, Alex Alejandro Mendez, Chief Mendez, and I got Pepe Diaz, the chairperson of the Miami-Dade Commissioners, Jose Pepe Diaz. And he never comes out for these type of events. And I got all of them to come out, and it was a great panel. Madam Manager was there. And so we talked about so many different things that were so real and so true, and everybody afterwards was coming to me like, we've never heard that take on this situation before, and we've never heard that take on this subject before. So I continue to get calls from news media saying that they want to do an interview about that and just that particular take on that. The second one that I did that day was Succeeding in Municipal Government, the Calm After the Storm. I actually got this title from our village clerk. So I appreciate that. And so the calm after the storm, succeeding in municipal government, because after the storm we went through, we had to find some calm, and we did, and we've been successful. So that's kind of how it kind of came to us when we first kind of came up with it, myself and the clerk. And I kind of took that and just kind of made it big and broadened it. And so right here, my description of it said, when I went out and proposed it, it said, as a mayor, as a vice mayor, as a commissioner, as a council person, as a manager of a municipality, how do you achieve success? What are the steps to become successful? What does success look like? There will be problems and challenges that will confront you while working in municipal government. Whether you inherited these challenges as you begin your administration or you were faced with them during your administration, how do you find the calm after the storm? What are the steps that you need to take? Who do you need to have in place to assist you? Who don't you need to have working alongside of you? What type of personalities, what type of characteristics do they have to have? We will get answers from some of those in our county who have been successful in municipal government. And on this panel was Juan Carlos J.C. Bermudez, who's the mayor of Doral and just one county commissioner. Vice Chairperson Oliver Gilbert, who everybody knows. First black mayor of Miami Shores, Crystal Wagger. Mayor Cunningham, Karen Hunt Cunningham from Palmetto Bay. Our manager, Ms. Christia Liu. And the Surfside mayor, Mayor Danziger. And Madam Manager, when we were talking about the calm after the storm, and I was so happy because I said all these individuals on this panel will take different aspects to this subject matter. When Mayor Danziger, Madam Manager in my line, when Mayor Danziger from Surfside, Major Harrison in my line, when Mayor Danziger from Surfside spoke about the building falling, and for about 25 minutes, 25 minutes, correct? He spoke about that really calm, straightforward, and gave us an inside look at the detail, step by step. Did he not? That whole room was quiet for 25 minutes. So touching, so powerful. It was so good. Right next door, Mayor Levine Cava was holding her own session. Their people started to come over there. Then after it was over, they said, man, we didn't know you guys were over here. We were like, man, who's over there? Because their session is the one to be at. And even when I saw her at the Pride Parade, she said, remind me never to go have a session next door to your sessions. And so it was really good, you guys. And I really appreciate them, and I really appreciate the county, and I really appreciate like all the support for that. And it was wonderful, and we got so much done and spoke about so many issues that was just so truthful and straightforward. This upcoming Saturday, October 29th, 2:00 p.m., right here in Village Hall. Make sure you come out. We're going to be talking about the 85th anniversary. I'm going to do my State of the Village address, El Portal Police Department meet and greet, Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. We're going to talk about Crime Watch and recommencing that. We're going to have a business mixer, every El Portal resident who's a business owner. We have, how many majors, when we did the whole walkthrough today, we have like 30, 40, 50 tables coming with chairs for El Portal residents. If you're a business owner, I've been getting so many contacts. If you're a business owner, we're giving you a free, your own tent, table, and chair, 2 chairs, full table, your own tent so so the sun doesn't hit you. And we're gonna bring, Mayor Levine Cava has us a 40-foot stage that she paid for, and she's giving us for the entire day. We got bands playing from El Portal, residents who are band members, we got them playing that day. We have the Home of the Year Award. Councilperson Perella's picking the Home of the Year Award all to himself. That's the man right there. No pressure. If you get mad, if your house doesn't get picked for the Home of the Year, contact Councilperson Perella. We got the Home of the Year Award. We have Citizen of the Year Award. We're honoring our El Portal residents who are military veterans and those in the armed forces. You guys saw that flyer going out, right? Councilperson Lightfoot Ward, Dr. Lightfoot Ward, one and only. Recognition of our first responders who are El Portal residents, learn about our El Portal organizations, engage with government officials, employees, and contractors. Acknowledgement of our junior, I'm getting a lot of these, acknowledgement of our junior El Portal and future stars, our El Portal junior and future stars. I'm getting a lot of kids. I just got one while we were sitting here. Mother said, gave me her daughter's name, 14 years old, and said that she goes to El Portal Junior and Future Star. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Michaela Washington, age 14, El Portal resident since birth. 9th grade at Miami Country Day. Please advise if you need more info or her picture. Thank you very much, Mother Michelle Washington. I'm getting them all the time. I just got that when we were sitting here, so I'm getting them all the time. So this is going to be a great event, you guys, on Saturday. And the fun part, that myself and the village clerk, Madam Clerk, we've been working hard. Myself and the village clerk we got ponies coming out on Saturday. We got pony rides for the kids. I have 3 bounce houses. I have 1 bounce obstacle course. I've got a bounce house for the little kids. Councilperson Martin was like, Mr. Mayor, when you do this, don't forget about the babies. Give them their own separate bounce house so they don't get hurt. Got a bounce house for the babies, got a bounce house for the big kids, and I got a whole obstacle course of a bounce house. This whole place is gonna be cut off. We're cutting the street there. All of this, where you see all of this, from where the circle is, all of that's going to be empty. No parking in front of the tot lot. That's all going to be things going on. We got a whole train coming, Major Harrison. What we're talking about today, the man was out there. We got a whole train for the kids. It's going to be going around this whole parking lot right here. We got a miniature train for the kids. We got circus. We got fire-breathing women coming out. Fire-breathing women coming out on Saturday. We got clowns and mimes. The mimes are going to be all walking through the crowd acting crazy. Madam Clerk set up the mime. We got, you guys know Carnival. We got Carnival. But how many times we told the guy? We said, like 8 times, we said, make sure fully clothed. Make sure they're fully clothed. This is a family event. Make sure they're fully clothed. We got Carnival coming out. We got Halloween characters. I got 3 characters come out. I told them, I said, send me somebody who's dressed like a princess, send me somebody who's dressed like a superhero, and send me somebody scary. Right, Major? Major said, make sure we got one scary. It's Halloween. Make sure we got one of them got to be scary. I got all the candy myself. I'll be giving it to them when they come in costume. They'll be handing out candy to the kids in the tot lot. We got an exotic wildlife animal show. I got honey bear. I got all type of crazy stuff coming out. The wildlife exotic show, they're bringing out, I think he said, like 12 or 14 animals, exotic animals. Got a bear coming out. There's a bear coming out here. Got that. Got food trucks, got music, got DJs, got everything, you guys. Free beverages. We're going to have a bar in here, free beverages. I got all type of sponsorships, Madam Manager. We've been working hard.
Did you call God? Ask him not to rain?
Well, it's on speed dial. But you know, we have so many tents that even if we do, I don't even want to talk about that. But even if we do, but we have so many tents, you guys. I have white tents that are covering up almost all of this area. So we'll be so good. Come out Saturday, 2 p.m. We're gonna have a good time. We got everything. So I got ponies, y'all. I worked hard to get those ponies, y'all. And I got them small enough to where babies can ride them too. So I got like little ponies, right? I've been working hard, you guys. I've been working hard. I appreciate it. Attorney Geller, if you have a report, the floor is yours.
Mayor, I just didn't know you'd been named Mayor of the Year. I hadn't heard that. Congratulations. That's quite an honor.
That. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
My report is nobody sued us, and we hadn't had to sue anybody. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Attorney Gill. I appreciate that. Before, this is the last good in welfare. I was going to say before I ask for a motion to adjourn. The last good in welfare, if anybody wants to come and talk about anything at all, you have 3 minutes. Name and address for the record. The floor is yours.
I
Yes.
just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Did we do the top lot bathroom this time, or we held it over?
No, it was part of the consent. It's through.
Okay,
We got
it's
it through.
Okay,
Yep,
let me
we got
ask
it.
the last one, the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System. It got through?
Got through. Consent agenda got through.
Yeah, see, y'all be talking all kind of ways, and I be going, yes. Okay, thank you.
It's all
Well,
good. Thank
make
you.
sure.
I appreciate that, and thank you for your support, Councilperson Dr. Lightfoot. Well, we really appreciate having you here on the council. 100%, 100%. Love this council, you guys. Best council I've ever been. I've been up here for 12 years. All right, so here we go. Motion to adjourn.
One more thing before we go. Early voting is underway from October 24th to November 6th. You should know why you should vote. Go to miamidade.gov to figure out exactly where you can vote. And that's all.
Thank you very much. Voting is very important, you all. Very, very important. Let me just say this one last thing. I do want to say this one last thing. I do want to say this one last thing before the major comes up. You all, it's so different, and you guys might hear I say, like, I've been up here for 12 years, but it's so different when you're in a certain position to where you have the chance to look through and go through every aspect of the finances and all the ins and outs on a daily basis. And you really can make the changes in a positive way that you really want to make. And so I just want to say that I go out of my way, and I love you guys, and I don't want you guys to ever feel like I felt when I was a council person all those years, you know? So whatever is on your mind, whatever you ever want to say, whatever you ever want to ask about, there's no question to where I'm going to shoot my eye and give you a dirty look or anything like that. I'm always respectful. You know, even when people come at me, I'm still respectful. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you guys want to know, I never want, because it was like we were kept in the dark for so many years, Madam Clerk. And the leadership at that time just didn't let us, you know, really like speak or express ourselves and so I just always want you guys to know that there's always an open door policy, and whatever you want to say, I will never shut you down, never try to, like, you know, tell you that, you know, you can't say something or you can't do nothing. Just always know that, so that, you know, you guys will never feel the way I felt for a long time.
And Mayor, if you don't mind my
Of
just
course.
saying, having watched this council in a lot of incarnations for a lot of years, this is what it looks like when there's a council working together, working with each other in a positive way for the good of the residents. We haven't always seen that, but we're seeing it, and it's nice to see.
Thank you, Attorney Gill. I appreciate that.
Mayor, I like the ditto before he talks. That's exactly right. So when I was mayor, it was very contentious, and you remember that. They didn't want nothing done. But we got a lot done anyway, but it was just so combative till it was just awful. This is one of the best councils that, and I can understand why they wanted us to stay as a group now. For the residents that don't know, we were all unanimously basically asked to come back as a unit. So I'm putting it on the record. We had no opponents, and everybody said, keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate you, and if we haven't said thank you for voting for us, thank you for your support and your continued support for the 5 of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilperson Lightfoot Ward. And get ready, because I have you're going to give a speech. I have a place in the program on Saturday for you. You're going to give a speech. Now, you're already, I'll give you a little secret, you're already getting an award for your military service now. I'm just letting you know you're getting a military award for your service. That, you know, you and Mr. Garmin. I'm just going to let you know that right now. So you got to show up. But I also have, and the second part I'm not going to tell you because it's a bigger surprise. Well, not a bigger surprise, but it's a big surprise. But I also have a spot where you're going to discuss the history, because at one point, the mayor who was up here at that time, way back then, they were trying to make us be part of Miami Shores at one point. And you're going to tell a story on Saturday. On Saturday, y'all come Saturday now. We got all type of stuff going on. Major Harrison.
Major Tom Harrison, Village of Gulfport Top Police Department. I'll be quick. I just want to piggyback, like Mr. Lightfoot Ward said, on what the mayor was saying on Saturday. we're gonna have 99% of the police department there. I encourage everyone to make contact with the officers, because we wanna basically become the community policing department of the future. I want everybody to know everybody by the first names, wave, we know who you are.